Hey, welcome back to Phoenix Kitchen. Today we're making deli style Black Forest ham. In a previous video, you've seen us make Black Forest ham in a charcuterie style where we aged it after we cured it using a long dry cure and then aging process and coming out with something very similar to prosciutto with lots and lots of flavor. But sometimes we just want a ham sandwich. We want that deli style. The flavor's not quite as intense. It's a little more moist, and it's a lot faster and easier to make. I'm going to show you how we did it.
All right, we're going to start by grabbing our ham and checking the weight on it. This one's a little over 7 pounds. By the time I debone it, we'll be down around 3 or 4. So I'm going to measure my spices for that weight. Now I'll put the recipe in the description, giving you everything you need to know for a 3 to 4 pound ham. Now this is a unsmoked, uncured ham, and we're going to take care of doing all of that ourselves. So we measured out our salt, and then into my grinder, I mixed all of the other ingredients so that I can grind them up. The juniper berries, the rosemary, we want to get everything all blended down. Got a little bit of water on the stove, getting that all mixed in so that we can get everything absorbed, get all of that salt melted. Then I'm going to go ahead and top that off with cold water so that it can cool down quickly, because we're going to be injecting this into the ham. You can add a few ice cubes if you need to. Now before we get this thing injected, we're going to go ahead and debone. You just slide your boning knife in and go around the bone. You can work from both ends. I went ahead and opened it up to take the bone out. If you have a way to slice through the bone, this is not a necessary step. I don't, so I'm taking the bone out. We can wrap this into a ham sock and let it smoke and cure that way, which will give us that nice round shape that we're looking for, like a store-bought ham. However, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to actually trim this up to fit my slicer after everything's done, and I will have some chunks that I can use for omelets and on pizzas. I'm going to have this bone, which I'm going ahead and seasoning and smoking also to use in some beans or some cabbage. Black Forest ham gives a wonderful flavor to vegetables and beans. So we're going to go ahead and get this thing injected. We're going about every inch or so. Then we're going to dump the rest of the solution over, making sure that we are fully submerged. If you're not fully submerged, just add a little water. We're going to let it set for 48 hours in the fridge. We're going to bring it out, and once we bring it out, we put it onto a rack and let that dry in our refrigerator for about 4 hours. Now when I brought it out of the brine, I did rinse off the ham to get rid of any excess surface saltiness. The bone I left fully salty because it's going into beans or cabbage, and I want that extra flavor there to help season whatever it is I'm cooking with it. So we're going to smoke this with alder wood. I'm going at 200 degrees for 3 to 4 hours. Ever how long it takes me to achieve an internal temperature of 140 degrees. Once it's off, I brought it in. We put it in the fridge overnight. I need this thing to be cooled down in order to work on my slicer. So I get my slicer set up, and I'm cutting these little end pieces that wrapped around where the bone came out. Those will make some beautiful biscuit slices or little croissant slices to make breakfast sandwiches out of. And then I'm going to go ahead and even this thing up. I use a 7.5-inch blade slicer. So I've got to make sure that I can get this thing to fit onto the carriage. Like I said, any little pieces that I trim off can be cubed up and used for omelets or something along that line. So we'll get everything trimmed up and onto the slicer. We're going to slice it, however thick you want it. For mine, I usually like mine on setting number 2, which is about 2 millimeters thick. Makes a great sandwich. We'll get some of this sliced up and take a nice look at it. All right, and you can see the beautiful ham there inside. little injection points all throughout. That flavor hit those points and spread throughout the meat. Beautiful slices, that little chunk there that we can use for our biscuit slices. The ham is absolutely amazing. I really hope that you guys will try this recipe. We're giving away a 5-piece cast iron lodge cookware set when we hit 1,000 subscribers. All you have to do is like a video and subscribe to the channel to be entered in the giveaway.